Welcome to the case summary for United States versus Carroll Towing on 4lawnotes.com. This is a seminal negligence case where a barge was contracted to carry a cargo of flour belonging to the United States, and it was docked, and the bargee, who was required to stay with the barge between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m., had left the barge. And while he was gone, a tugboat harbor master and a deckhand had caused the barge to break loose and float free. And it collided with a tanker, and unbeknownst to anyone, the propeller of the tanker had broken a hole in the barge. And so there was a slow leak that caused the barge to eventually sink, and all the cargo was lost. And the issue is whether the barge owner, who was actually one of the plaintiffs attempting to recover the cost of the loss of the barge, had a shared responsibility for the negligence that resulted in the loss of the cargo. And so the Court of Appeals determined that the barge owner was partially responsible for the loss. And in making this determination, they actually established what they called, in their opinion, an algebraic formulation for determining responsibility, in that where the burden of precautions is less than the probability and the gravity of injury, then there is negligence on the person that failed to take those precautions, to assume the burden of those precautions. And in this case, the bargee was gone from the barge. He was supposed to be there from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. He had left at 5 p.m. and was gone until 2 p.m. the next day, a total of 21 hours. And as it happens, the barge had a siphon pump on board. They could have kept the barge afloat if they had learned that there was a leak, but the bargee had left on the evening before and nobody was on board to observe that she was leaking. Thus, the burden of the bargee was certainly less than the gravity of injury and the probability of injury, so they certainly weren't partially negligent. And this concludes the case summary for United States versus Carroll Towing on 4lawnotes.com.